A beautiful young woman was sitting beside the road, while a man named Hans quietly sketched her portrait. As he worked on the drawing, his pencil suddenly snapped in half. Needing another pencil, Hans searched through his bag and eventually found a strange-looking pencil that seemed almost identical to the one he had been using. With no other choice, he decided to continue drawing with it. To test the pencil, he casually drew a small circle on a piece of paper. The moment he finished, something impossible happened. The drawing suddenly turned into a real stone. Hans stood frozen in disbelief. Thinking his eyes might be playing tricks on him, he quickly drew an apple. A few seconds later, a real apple appeared and fell onto the ground. He picked it up, took a bite, and was shocked to discover that it tasted exactly like a real apple. Unable to process what had just happened, Hans packed up his belongings and rushed straight to his friend's house. Out of breath, he begged his friend to kick him as hard as possible. After feeling the pain, he finally accepted that he wasn't dreaming. Hans then showed him the apple and explained the magical pencil's power. Unfortunately, his friend thought the whole story was ridiculous. He laughed and suggested that Hans should visit a doctor. To test the claim, his friend challenged him to draw a gold bar. "If that pencil is really magical, make some gold," he said. Hans accepted the challenge and carefully sketched a gold bar. But this time, nothing happened. The drawing remained a simple sketch on the paper. His friend burst into laughter, grabbed the drawing, and casually threw it out of the window. Moments later, loud shouting came from downstairs. They rushed to the window and saw their elderly landlord standing there with a real gold bar in his hands. Without saying a word, the old man quietly slipped the gold into his pocket and walked away. At that moment, Hans's friend finally realized the pencil was real. Filled with excitement, he urged Hans to create more gold. Hans began drawing again, and this time the magic worked instantly. One gold bar after another appeared before their eyes until piles of gold filled the room. Soon his friend came up with another idea. "We need cash too," he said. He tried writing $20 on a piece of paper, but nothing happened. Hans then used the magical pencil to carefully draw real banknotes. Within minutes, money started appearing everywhere. The cash piled up so quickly that the room was nearly buried beneath mountains of banknotes. Just then, the landlord stormed back inside, furious. He complained that nobody had paid rent for months and began yelling at everyone. Before he could continue, Hans and his friend stepped forward wearing expensive designer suits. The neighbors watched in complete shock. The two men calmly approached the landlord. After signaling to their assistants, a large suitcase was opened, revealing stacks upon stacks of cash. They informed the landlord that the money inside was enough to pay 50 years of rent in advance. But they weren't finished yet. Using a loudspeaker, Hans's friend made an unbelievable announcement. He revealed that they had purchased every house in the neighborhood. From that day forward, none of the residents would ever have to pay rent again. The entire neighborhood erupted into cheers and applause as everyone celebrated the life-changing news.